All right, car culture seems like it's only for the rich as of right now. And honestly, if you want to get into it, at the end of this video, I will offer you a solution on how you can get into car culture for cheap. All right, so let's look at cars back then, because obviously right now is right now. So in the 80s and the 90s, around when the dinosaurs lived, cars used to be affordable. I know that's a complete shocker and a completely unheard of today. The average price was around $6,000 for the average used car and $15,000 for the average new car. But today, the car price is about $50,000 and the average used car price here is about $25,000, which is absolutely insane. And the wages of today just do not match up with buying a new car. Like, no way you can afford a $50,000 car while you're making $50,000 a year. That's your entire yearly salary in a vehicle with 4 wheels, 2 doors, and whatever. And the whole time it's just a Camry with some cool features that they didn't have in the base model. After comparing the prices between now and back then, let's talk about today. I want to continue this topic of the prices just being too high. There is no reason why a Toyota Camry is $40,000 for some heated seats, sunroof, and wireless Apple CarPlay. Why are there trucks that are being sold for over 100,000 doubloons? Are you trying to tow the world with this truck? I have never seen reasons why you should pay for anything this expensive. Like, for example, this Ford Bronco is $100,000. The Strop Edition, what difference does it make? Maybe I should do my research on it, but honestly, I don't feel like it because I don't think a Ford Bronco should ever reach 100K anyways. Here you can see a Honda Accord costs up to 40K for some features that I argue they could have fit in the cheapest model. There's no reason why a sunroof, a heated steering wheel, and heated seats should add 10K to the price of this car. It's so dumb. And on top of that, the price of everything has just simply gone up, especially if you live in the US. That means tariffs. These tariffs are serious business, man. Like, avocados are going up in price. I eat avocados every single day. This is very detrimental. Gas is also going to go up. Cars are going to go up because their engines being imported from Canada. And overall, this is just not a poor man's game. You don't even have to be poor. Me, I'm broke. So this game isn't for me. I am not in this tax bracket of cars, which leaves only the people who have money to be able to afford these cars despite everything going up in price because they're already rich. So now that I've clearly laid out an entire problem of how cars and everything has gotten so expensive, including these tariffs, and how cars have gone up in price over the years since the 1980s where the dinosaurs lived when they were driving Toyotas and all that, how can there be a solution? What is the solution that I promised at the beginning of the video? So you want to get into car culture. This is what we do. You want to have a nice car. First, you have to get a car. So what do? First of all, you pick your car. Now, don't look at a Supra, an Infiniti Q60, which in my opinion is one of the nicest looking cars out there. Don't pick any of those cars that you like that are super well known and super sought after because they're expensive anyways. Start looking for cheaper cars that you don't think are as popular or are just cheaper in price, like a 350Z. Those are quite cheap for what they are. I mean, they're about like 10, 15K, around that range. So then, okay, you like this car. Now, what do? You have to keep a mental check of a couple of things. First, you have to make sure you keep track of the mileage. The mileage isn't always posted. The mileage posted isn't always the true mileage on the website that you found the car on because the car can be rolled back. So how do you know if a car is rolled back, or how can you check? Well, the first sign a car is rolled back is if it's a car from 2010, for example, and on the website it has 0 miles. What do you mean it has 0 miles? You're telling me this car hasn't been driven once since 2010 and it's worth 11,000? Something's off. But sometimes there won't be a signal as obvious as that. Sometimes the miles will look more like 50,000 miles. So that's when you're like, okay, it makes sense, but you're still going to be tricked because no way a car pushing 20 years old has only 50K miles. This is when you get something called the VIN. When you check the VIN of the car and you go to a VIN checking website, that's where you find all your information. Now, these online VIN checkers are free and you can find some. So that means if you ever find one asking for money, click off. So once you find one of these VIN searching websites and you look up the car's VIN, you can see the miles, the service history, whether or not the car is a salvage title, which basically means that a car has been in a bad incident, and you could just find everything. And there you will find the true miles and how many times the car has been sold. You will literally, it's like the equivalent of finding the social security of someone. This is basically the best thing you can do. Now, that's one thing. Now, the next thing you need to keep in mind is actually the amount of miles you want to have on your car before you buy it. Now, if you're buying a Toyota or a Honda, I would say keep the range between 80K to 110K miles. That's a good range because then you can keep taking the car to like 200,000 miles if you treat it nicely. Now, if you're going for something like a Ford or an unreliable car, you better start looking for lower miles. I can't really predict what's going to happen to your car in the future because it's not really, Fords aren't really known to be reliable. But if you do happen to be looking for a Toyota or a Honda, if you go, 100,000 miles on a car, you will be good. After that, make sure you don't buy any car that's a salvage title as well, which I mentioned earlier. And that's pretty much the base criteria that I go by when I look for cars. So if you take this list of criteria that you need and you go find your dream car, that'll be easy. Now, next thing is modding a car. And I'm gonna talk about modding, how you can mod your car for cheap in another video. But the first thing you gotta do is actually get the car before you mod it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know. Peace.